Hey everybody, what's up? So this is going to be another kind of weird video for the channel. It's not going to be races, obviously. It's going to be more like the video I had a month ago where I talked about my Speed 3 and the mods that I have on it. But instead of talking about my car, I'm going to be talking about what this is. And what this is a Turbo SX 50/50 blow-off valve that I've had on my 2012 Speed 3. To give a little overview of what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be first introducing you to the blow-off valve, what it does, how it works. Then I'm going to be talking about some of the differences between a blow-off valve and a bypass valve, which would come stock on the car. Then I'm going to talk about my feelings, my story behind how I ended up with a blow-off valve. And then I'm kind of going to be summing up some more pros and cons, what I think you should do if you're looking to get a blow-off valve or you're looking to mod your car. So to get it started, I'm going to talk about how a blow-off valve works, and this is just kind of going to be the quick basics. It's not going to be a full description of how they work. If you want a full one, I'm sure there's plenty of other YouTube channels that'll give you the full description on how it works, or you can just look it up online or something like that. Okay, but basically it's a pretty simple design. So there is a plunger in this housing, and when you're at idle, pressure is being applied to the plunger but not enough to push it open. So when you accelerate and hit boost, this plunger will be pushed open. Sorry, I'm shaking. It's a lot of pressure. So when pressure is being applied to it, our boost pressure is being applied, and you close the throttle or you let off boost, the plunger will shoot back down and press the pressure out, and it'll shoot through these holes, and that's how you get the little ch noise. So to give a quick rundown of what I just said, you accelerate, hit boost, pressure pushes this plunger open. When you let off and you get out of boost, the plunger shoots back down and vents the pressure out into the atmosphere. This model in particular both vents out these two holes in the back and recirculates the pressure. So not all of it is being shot out like, some of the other ones that are much louder than this one. So it's the only difference between this and a bypass valve, which will come stock on almost all cars, is that it just has these two little drilled out portions, which is where the pressure is shot through. And that's pretty much the biggest difference between the two. So to go into a little backstory of how I got this, which I've had it for around a year now. I got it because my tuner, Hypnotic Tuning, said that I needed a blow-off valve, bypass valve, to handle the new boost pressure that I would be running. So I went from around 15 to 16 pounds of boost to 20 to 21, and the stock bypass valve can't keep up. It would collapse under pressure. So I upgraded to this, and there was no reason why I got a blow-off valve or I got this model. It's basically because I needed one quickly, and this one was on sale cheap for eBay, and it was 100% working, so this is what I got. That's pretty much it. I wasn't getting it because, blow-off valves are so cool, bro. They vent to atmosphere. The noise is so neat. They make me faster. I'm not a racer. I needed it so I could run full bolt-ons in a Pro Tune. I'm not a high school kid. I knew kids in high school that bought them just so they could get the sound, and, they listed it off like a mod. It's not really a mod. I don't tell people I have a blow-off valve. But, that's basically why I got it, so it could handle the pressure. And this is where I started to run into problems. If you're new to modding your car and, you want a blow-off valve, you like the noise, it's much more than that. It's more complicated. So inside this little housing, inside the head, there is a spring, and this spring keeps this piston down, obviously. So the problem that I ran into is that I bought this off eBay, slapped it right on my car. The previous owner said it worked completely fine, he had no issues. Well, because I was running more boost pressure, 20 pounds, the little plunger would crack open during idle. It's hard to push open, and leak, and it caused a vacuum leak. And for months, I couldn't figure out what caused the leak. At idle, it would lean out, and the RPMs would just jump around. It didn't really feel quick. It felt really boggy, and I just couldn't find out why. Well, I went to a local tuner, and he did a vacuum leak test, and it just turned out that the piston was leaking under idle because there was too much pressure. And because there was a leak at low RPMs, there was a consistent leak of pressure throughout the entire power band. So that's why it felt so slow. Well, the way we remedied this is that we took this little housing off and we put washers in to tighten the spring rate. We put in 2 washers initially, and it mostly fixed the problem. There was no more vacuum leak. I hit boost quickly. It didn't feel as boggy in the lower RPMs. It felt pretty quick. Well, flash forward like 6 or 7 months, doing some stuff in Mexico, racing some cars, noticed that it was very inconsistent. It didn't pull as hard as I felt it should, and then when I would shift gears, let's say from 4th to 5th, it took a good, let's say 15 seconds for boost to build up fully, and then at that point, I already need to shift again. So there was obviously a problem. So I took it back apart, added 3 more washers for a combined of 5 washers to tighten the spring pressure to what it needed to be to handle the 20 to 21 pounds of boost. And why? And this is a problem, obviously. So if you're new to cars, and let's say you just bought one, you're young and naive, you slap it on the car, and you're like, all right, cool, got a blow-off valve. Well, it could actually be hindering you more than helping you. You could be losing boost pressure, you could create a vacuum leak for yourself, and it's just not good. So some tips I'm going to give is if you do get one, you'll most likely you'll either get washers or you'll get different springs. And what I'm going to suggest is that you play around with, the different springs you have or your washer setup until you get one that feels responsive when you accelerate and is able to build boost quickly after you shift. Because this little thing can really hurt you if it's not set up properly. And that's a big reason as to why I'm going to say that instead of getting a blow-off valve, you should just get a bypass valve. It's because if it's not properly set up, it'll hurt you. Like, I remember I was running a test pipe E30 intake in a Pro Tune, and I was neck and neck with a fully bolted on FRS. And that's really, really, really sad. Like, super sad. If you have E30 and a test pipe and an intake and a tune, you should be demolishing FRSs, no matter how bolted on they are, unless they have a turbo or a supercharger or something like that. But yeah, it can hurt you if it's not set up properly, and that's what my problem is with these is if you're new to the community and you get one, it's hurting you more so than helping you. So to just skip all the drama, just get a bypass valve, bypass valve, and you don't have to worry about this. Right out of the box, it's working 100% more efficiently than this or your stock bypass valve ever could have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's an overview of kind of how this bypass valve works, what it does, what's the difference between a bypass valve and a blow-off valve is, and those are some pros and some cons. And the final thing I'm going to say is just I would skip the BS and get a bypass valve. I mean, if you want the noise, then I would recommend getting a 50-50 such as this instead of 100% recirculating, just so you have the noise but you have some of the efficiency of the blow-off of the bypass valve. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. I'm going to add some time slots so you can skip around instead of watching a 10-minute video. I know that's really long, But if you have any critiques or anything like that, let me know. If I've explained something wrong, again, let me know. I'll be sure to remake the video and correct it, or I'll add something in the description. Other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome afternoon, and I'm sorry for the lack of content, but I've been overseas and there's not as much car stuff over there. So that's pretty much it. Let me know how you guys liked the video, and I hope you have, a great afternoon or evening, whatever. Bye, guys.